I don't mean to alarm anyone, but if you thought that the entertainment industry was in dire straits before Trump won the election, I have some really bad news. Obviously, the fallout from this election is going to be incredibly widespread, and we have no way of knowing the extent of which this is going to affect us in every aspect of our life. There are the few obvious ways, but it's going to be bad in a lot of ways. And one of the ways is the corporatization of media and late stage capitalism completely destroying art. If you don't know, on Wednesday, the Motion Picture Association, one of the largest groups of studios in Hollywood, publicly congratulated Trump on his victory. They said that we can't wait to work with you. We make so much money. We hire this many people. And by the way, love the fact that the electoral process is totally safe with you, champ. It wasn't great. And then obviously Jeff Bezos prevented the Washington Post from running an endorsement of Kamala Harris, and instead congratulated Donald Trump also publicly on his victory, just like he did in 2016. Didn't wish anyone a victory and congrats on their victory in 2020, strangely. But I don't know. I feel like there's obviously some conversation about like what The Boys is going to look like next season. And I feel like the assumption that our media is going to remain pure and able to continue to offer biting critique of those in power is an optimistic way to look at things. I don't think there's like totally reason to give up hope. I mean, some of the best art in the world has been made under some of the most devastating circumstances. But I do think that with the increase in consolidation, I mean, already David Zaslav tweeted about how hopefully the Trump administration will be favorable to the necessary, I can't remember how he phrased them, but essentially mergers of huge media groups, which is not a good thing. So I think we all need to be aware of the ways that our media is about to become a whole lot more sanitized. And I just keep thinking about the Hollywood strikes and AI, and that was such an important movement for workers' rights. And I'm worried that the impact is going to be very short-lived, because I don't think that there's going to be any regulations for AI, and I think that the industry is going to keep shrinking and cutting out humans. There's an administration that's going to be incredibly friendly, pro-corporate bullshit, very anti-worker, especially a worker in the arts. So, I don't love that. I am hopeful that we're going to get a new indie revival from people who are making art and posting it on the internet. I know that a lot of film purists think that's laughable. But interesting about the last indie revival is that it was in large part due to Harvey Weinstein and Miramax footing the bill because they wanted awards. It wasn't like it was some altruistic, incredible organic thing. There are outliers of Robert Rodriguez, who made a movie with $5,000 and took Sundance by storm. That's super cool. It never happens anymore, and it was an outlier then, and it's an outlier now. So I think that a lot of great art, we're gonna have to rely on ourselves, just like everything else coming up. And I think the distribution of that art is hopefully gonna remain accessible. I do worry about our ability to communicate with each other and have I think algorithmic based platforms might be harder. I do think TikTok is probably pretty cooked. I think this app may be on its last legs. Maybe not. But anyways, yeah, I think that this is something that we just should start talking about and thinking about, because there are so many ways and much more immediately pressing and horrifying ways. I don't mean to diminish the obvious horrors of our new reality, but this is just something that I think propaganda can be incredibly stealthy, and we already live in a world where media literacy is rare. And I think we just need to be aware of the fact that we are probably, I don't know, I see people comparing, making Handmaid's Tales comparisons, which is a little bit cringe, obviously, but I think, if you want to look to what a realistic version of our new reality is going to look like. It's going to look a lot more like something like V for Vendetta, where the show keeps going. You know, they're not gonna openly admit that they're subjugating us. They want to keep living in this, and entertainment is a huge part of keeping people distracted and docile. So I just think we need to be, you know, vigilant in how we consume it, now more so than ever. Anyways, I don't know when the fuck I'm going to be able to get back to your regularly scheduled programming, speaking of which. You know, I had taken a little bit of time with this one.